Hello and welcome to gallery number 11. All of the pictures that you see were taken in 1987 by charming lady Virginia Hourigan. And I have saved the best for last. And as you look at these artifacts, you're going to see some of the most beautiful and the most unusual ancient artifacts the world has ever known. Compares beyond anything. It's right there with Egypt. Well, it is Egyptian, for Pete's sake. And this is going to be a long gallery because it consists of two different collections from '87. And that's Jack Ward's collection from Vincennes, Indiana, and Thelma McLean's collection, who lived in Olney, Illinois. And Virginia Hourigan, she lived in New York City. And she played in the New York Symphony Orchestra. She was a Mensa. And she was proficient on many different woodwind instruments. She played bassoon, oboe, English horn, all the clarinets, and flute. And she performed with the symphony orchestra quite often, and she also performed sonatas on specific instruments, different instruments, along with a piano. She was very popular, evidently, doing that. And this series is dedicated to her legacy. And I lost touch with her probably about 2002, 2003, after I scanned these photographs that you're about to see. There were a few different people who had shoeboxes of pictures, but no one had ever scanned the pictures before. The only thing that had come close to it was when I was filming Photo Show 1 in Mount Vernon, Illinois, back in 1994, Thanksgiving of '94, when she had come and brought her books of the artifacts. And I set up my camera, and I started videotaping, because we were getting kicked out of the motel. It's written about in book 1. And I started realizing that these artifacts were just fantastic, and I'd never ever dreamed that there were so many really nice artifacts. Now there's not a lot of scripted pieces in here, but there's several. And this, like I say, this is the initial step into the limelight that these artifacts took onto the national stage. And last time I'd spoken to Virginia Hourigan, she was staying in some type of musician's halfway house with had medical care for retired and elderly musicians. It was some kind of exclusive place, and she told me what it was, but I could not remember it. And I never knew when she was born, and she would never tell anybody her age. And her brother John, who lived in Philadelphia, he would never tell anybody how old she was either. And so lost touch with her, don't know what happened to her. And I do know that she was diabetic, and she had some major issues there where she lived. And in the off season, when she wasn't performing, she had a Honda 750. She was a big woman. And she would cruise around the country on this big Honda motorcycle. And she, with her connections, or her channels, she had heard about the Jack Ward's museum. And so she was riding on her motorcycle. She pulled up and she wanted to see the artifacts, and Jack Ward showed them to her. And she was just flabbergasted that no one had photographed these with the skill of a professional. I mean, Warren Dexter had taken several of them, but not both collections or this or that. So she came back armed with a camera, gosh knows how many, 30, 40, 50 rolls of film. Well, there's over 800 pictures that I'm going to be showing, probably like 850. And several of the photographs have several artifacts in the photograph. So that's a little background on where Virginia came from and how she fell into filming, snap shooting these artifacts. And the first collection that she shot was Jack Ward's in Vincennes, Indiana, at his museum, the Sonoppatak, the Son of Tobacco, the Sonoppatak Museum. And given that she was able to somehow convince Thelma McLean that she could, you know, to let her film her artifacts as well. And the care that Virginia showed for the artifacts is just unbelievable. And she got shoots and from angles of these artifacts that nobody else got. And she did a fantastic job. Fantastic job. And I had so many problems putting this gallery together because there were so many diverse pieces that it was just damn near impossible. Like when it came to marble, there's marble scattered throughout the sections. And I still have a marble section. But the marble section ended up being just statues. I'll get to that in just a minute here. So there's marble pieces here, marble pieces there. There's marble horses and animals. There's marble this and that. And like I said before, all of the marble is Carrara marble from Italy. And you're going to see more of it probably than was ever located in any ancient tomb or any ancient site anywhere in the world. This site, I'm going to say it, this site has more carved Carrara marble than any other ancient site in the world. I had other problems with the categories as well, like the outdoor pieces, the big pieces. I mean, we're talking artifacts that are 3.5, 4 feet tall, and there were dozens of them scattered in this and animals or whatever. But I put a lot of them together, and I'm calling that like the garden party or something. And so, but there's still several scattered through other pieces, and I have to point out that, hey, that's a huge piece, weighs a lot, but I didn't get it with the others. And then we're going to come to the section of statues. And statues was just way too extensive. And what I did with statues is I broke it down into 3 categories. The first one is actually statues, which is pretty much sandstone or mudstone or lavagna statues. And to me, a statue is, I had to define it, is an artifact that can stand up on its own. And there's several in animals, birds, everywhere else. But the statues is basically statues that you'll see. And they stand on their own. And the next section I broke down in statues was marble. And I'm showing nothing but marble statues. Some of them are huge. And they're beautiful. And just fascinating. And there's just dozens of them. Well, that's all the Carrara marble. And I could have put the axe heads and some of the other figurines in the marble statue, or the marble section, but the marble section is basically marble statues. And the third statue category was is actually 3-dimensional. In other words, it's a carved 3-dimensional piece, but it doesn't stand up on its own. You have to hold it. It's front and back, and it's a beautiful figurine in most cases, and some of them are very small. Some of these artifacts are the size of a nickel. And you're just going to be flabbergasted what you see. And know when you see it that you are looking at artifacts that came from a tomb right there, right over there. Just right down the power line, about 3.5 miles, right that way there. And that's where the Ptolemaic dynasty, including Alexander the Great, Queen of Queens Cleopatra, we're going to see a few artifacts of Cleopatra and Alexander. So just hold on, and Alexander Helios. We're going everywhere. Like I say, this is going to be several parts to this gallery. And so thank you for staying with me. And if it weren't for Virginia Hourigan, this would not be possible. And I paid for her to come here twice to assist. She assisted greatly with us locating this tomb. People say, how did you do it? Hey, well, we had a lot of help. We had a lot of help. And she was a very big help. And God bless her. Wherever she's at, God bless her. We'll see you here in the next part or the next cameo. Like a few of the other galleries, I'm beginning this gallery with animals. And that's a very loose term, because even though we can see this creature here, for instance, has a head, 4 appendages of feet, and then a long tail, I would be at a loss as to what kind of animal that is. And we're going to see a bunch of these. There's a lot of these that you can tell they're an animal, but I have no idea what kind of animal they are, and I'm wide open. See, he's got 2 ears here. So animals is a very loose term. And we've seen this guy here before. You see they have a long tail here, and then there's this tail here comes over to this guy. Very strange, very unique. I'll blow it up a little bit more for you. And many of these creatures we have seen before. Now, he does have a hole. He could be a pendant. He could go in trinkets. There's a million ways to classify this little guy here. He's white, probably marble. We don't have a good enough picture to see, but he's pretty small. And I don't know what kind of animal that is, but I can tell it's an animal. We've seen this fella here before. Is that a tiger? We've seen this creature here in other galleries. Here's another one. Kind of resembles a cat, but the tail's not very long. I don't know. You tell me. Here's another really nice marble horse head. This is a statue. Stands up on its own. Here's a blow up of him. Here he is face on. Here's another really nice Carrara marble horse head statue. I believe this may have been the one I owned. Let's blow him up. Look at all these inclusions. Yeah, this looks like the one I had in my gallery. Nice piece. I think it's down in Florida now. I'm not sure. Here's another one. Here's a closer view, and it's marble, Carrara. And we've seen this creature here before. I'm not sure exactly what it is. It's a gerbil. It's got a short tail here. Mice have long tails. Soles have long tails. Rats have long tails. Is that someone's pet? Here's another pretty small creature. I'm not sure what he is. Here's another fellow that resembles one of the previous stones, but he doesn't have a tail. So many real small animals, carvings. Here's our next one. I'm going to show the whole tablet and I'm going to blow him up. Now let's scroll. He's got his foot right here. Could be an aquatic animal. Here's another one that's been in a couple of the other galleries. I've seen this one. He's sandstone. Could be local. Could be from someplace else. Who knows? Here's another handsome creature. This one we've seen in other galleries. Got the fang here coming out. Good shot of him. Looks like sandstone. This is another small statue. Same animal from a different angle. Looks like it could be a goat or a lamb. Here's another one. Could be a llama. Could be a sheep. I'm not sure what this is. This is lifted out of the stone. We can see it's got a tail and 4 feet, but I'm not sure. It looks like the head is pointing downward and has a long snout on it. Looks like got an eye in there. I'll blow it up as big as I can. I'm not sure what he is. Here's our next one. Here he is again from a different angle. He could be a statue. Here's a repeat of this fella. This guy's pretty small. about twice the size of a dime. And we have this creature here again, some kind of bison. I mean, it's obvious that it is because of these real short feet down here. Bison is the only quadruped that has to have all 4 feet to stand, as far as I know, or walk. And we've seen this particular artifact in several different collections through the years. Here's this fellow again. Here we have this happy face. I'm not sure what he is, but it's an animal. Here's our next one. It appears to be some type of dog, and most of these dogs on these artifacts are clearly Egyptian hounds, but I'm not so sure about this one. Until I know any different, I would say it's an Egyptian hound with a little bit of emphasis on the length of the ears. This could be a cat of some description. This one we've seen before. Not sure what it is, but it's got that little cosmic dachshund down here at the bottom. And this is a pretty large piece here. Really nice carving. It's on marble. That is obviously a ram, no doubt. Nice looking piece. And here's this fella again. I'm just showing him because he goes back now to 1987 in a collection. I'm not sure what this guy is. He got a head, 4 feet, and a tail, but it's kind of rough carving. It's pretty small too. I'm not sure exactly what this guy is. I've got him in animals, but I'm not sure. Here's another one that I'm not sure about. Here's a nice statue head here. Not sure what he is. Here's our next animal head. And we've seen this guy here before. Now we're seeing Virginia's angles at it. The way Virginia Hourigan posed some of these artifacts is just unbelievable. She had a knack for it. She had a knack for it. She's a brilliant woman. Here's the same piece, just a different shot of it. This is another nice sandstone head. Here's our next one, and it kind of looks like a bulldog, but they didn't have bulldogs back then. Same stone, different shot of it. Here's another one. And I really like this guy. We're going to blow it up and look at his face. I like him. And here's one of my favorites, a really good shot of him. Here's another one I used to own, it's ibex, an African ibex. They are extinct. And this will conclude the section on animals. Now we're moving on to axe heads. Looks like an animal facing down here, full groove. And this is an extensive section of this gallery. And this is the reverse of the same stone. It's not very much, not very large, probably about 4 inches. We've seen this guy, marble. Another marble piece. I think I used to own that guy. Same piece, different angle. We've seen this fella before. Notice all these inclusions here. Clearly Carrara marble. Check out that face. Nice piece. And like I've said, Virginia could get shots of these from angles that nobody else ever dreamed of. How did she get a shot of that? I don't know. Here's some more Carrara marble. See the inclusions here, here, here. Same stone, different angle. Here's another one we've seen before. And here's the other side of it. Next. And we've seen this one quite a few times. I think this one's for sale. And I believe we've seen this guy before. He is marble. Small, nice piece. Same piece, different angle. Look at the silver inclusions here. Really nice. That would clean up and just be beautiful. And here's the next one. Clearly marble. And here's one we've shown before. It's got the bear on it. And that doesn't look like a European. It looks like a bear from here, actually. And we'll look at the whole thing. That's the reverse of it. And here you see it all again. This guy is gorgeous. Marble from Italy. Here's the reverse of it. We've seen him in different galleries. Yeah, Harry Hubbard and Paul Shafranca. We went to Italy and brought back a cruise ship full of marble, Carrara marble, and made these artifacts. This one's a little blurry, but it is a double groove. I think we've seen it in some other galleries. Here's the face of him. We've seen this piece in other galleries. And there are many artifacts that have this type of design on the tops of them. Nice marble piece here. And he's just a couple of inches, 2.5 inches. He appears to be smiling. And here's the jewel that I used to own that burned up in a fire. And we've seen this fella here several times in different collections, different galleries. Nice piece. Well carved eagle right here. And here's this artifact here again. A little bit better on the owl. I believe that's an owl. Looks more like an owl. Looks like Batman. And this is the reverse of it. Nice carving. Good shot of this piece. And here's the reverse of it. Next is this handsome fella here. Let's blow him up. And then we'll scroll down. Same piece showing the reverse. And this black stone medium, again, is called lavagna, and it's found in Italy. All of these black stones come from Italy. The ancient Romans even used this as there's like one spot that it comes from. It's a volcanic sedimentary deposit, and they used it for their chalkboards. That's what the lavagna means, blackboard. And the town nearest to that pit, that ancient extinct volcano, is called Lavagna. Here are 3 more small ones. Some nice photography in here. She got this one from all 4 sides. This one appears to have some kind of animal with its mouth, face, open that way. Here it is again. I'm not sure what this design is supposed to depict, but we're going to scroll down and see this fella here. It's not really that clear when you blow it up this big. And this is the reverse of the same stone. And I believe we've seen this piece here in other galleries. It appears to me to be some type of mudstone. And this is a really nice Carrara marble piece. Anybody that knows marbles can recognize this as Carrara marble. It doesn't take a genius to figure it out. Just type in Carrara marble and you'll see what I'm talking about. Here's the face of the same stone. And here's a different angle of the same piece. This one here has been around from gallery to gallery. It's a nice marble piece, and it's about 4 inches. See some more shots of it. Well executed carving. And this will conclude this section on axe heads. I'm calling this section bears, and unfortunately this is we've seen this same creature before. It to me looks like a bear, and yes, it could go into animals. All these bears could, but when I've got so many of one type of creature that I can recognize, I'm not just putting them in animals. I'm giving them some special treatment. And this is a sandstone statue, probably about 8 inches long. Well executed, and he is in sandstone. He could be native, I'm not sure. Here's a small one. Statue, he sits up on his own. So does this guy. If someone was to argue, no, Harry, that's not a bear, you're not going to get an argument from me. Could be something else, but it looks like a bear to me. And here is our last bear in this section. He's not real big, and he is a statue. And these carvings are so small. I mean, was it people with small hands carving this stuff? I'm just saying, I couldn't do it with my big hands. Harry's got a skunk. Harry's got a skunk. He's munching down. He's a big stinker. Hey there, buddy. They don't hang around, man. They just come through. The biggest skunk I ever saw was right here, just about 30 feet from where I'm standing. He was like over 4 feet long. This guy might, if you stretched him out. Let me walk out and stretch him. Hey, buddy, listen to him crunch. Beautiful creature. This is the next section. I'm calling birds, but you got me. Some of them, they're not really birds. Such as this guy here. We've seen him before. You're going to see him again. The only thing that reminds me of the bird is it's got wings. There's a bird with a long neck and long hair. And the face looks like a bird too, but that's it. This is a nice tip. It's about 6 inches. Could have gone in tips, but no, I got it in birds. And we've seen this guy before. I'm not sure if it's a bird, but it kind of reminds me of one. Got a nice suit on. Here's blown up a bit. I believe this cutie is in one of the other galleries too. Here's the other side of it. I've never seen this piece, but it does appear to be Carrara marble. And I'm not sure if it's a bird, but that kind of resembles a wing to me. That's why he's in birds. And this one's got a couple of birds on it. Looks like they're carrying something in their beaks. And we've seen this owl before in other galleries. Now you're seeing him back in 1987. And he's marble. There's a bird head on a pendant. We've seen him. This is actually a pretty nice carving. It's got some kind of a bowl head here, but this piece is like 17, 18 inches long. It appears to be native sandstone or just sandstone. And you see the eye here and the beak. I'm just calling it a bird. And here's an owl head that I used to own. I'm calling it a bird. This is a fairly small piece, but you can see the eagle carved out on it. It's not a real good carving. And I believe I've actually got this guy in animals too. This might be just another shot of the other side of it. And this appears to me to be a man's head inside a bird's mouth. Here he is from the front. Now he could have gone in faces and people, but you see, there's a lot of loose ends here. We've seen this piece in other galleries. Now we're seeing Virginia Hourigan's picture of it. Here's a close-up of the bird head at the top, and it is well executed. Pretty clear here. With some other ornamental designs. That looks like an upside down bird head here. This was another one of the outdoor pieces. Big, hard sandstone piece. It had a what they call libation bowl at the top. This rock probably weighed over 100 pounds. And here's the bird on the side of it. You can clearly see that carved hole in the top. A big piece like that would have sold for maybe 15 bucks. And we've seen this guy before. Same with this one. If I've already blown a tablet up, I don't think I need to do it again. Here's a dandy. Notice how the rock is etched all around it. It's got the ankh in the middle of the bird breast. Here's a real small one. Blow this guy up because he looks so good. And the hole goes all the way through his pendant. Amulet. And here's this fella again. He's probably, I would say maybe 20 inches tall. He weighs a lot. I'm not sure what his field medium is, but he's huge. 3D statue. He probably went for 20 bucks, maybe $10. And that will conclude this section. I would suppose that someone might guess there is a rainstorm outside. And you would be correct. However, we're going to move forward. And this I'm calling boats. And there's just a few in here. And we see this one. We've seen it in several galleries. It is now broken. But this was Virginia Hourigan's picture of it back in 1987. And the script comes up pretty good here. And here's a good shot from the top of that other 3D boat, that smaller 3D boat. And Virginia does it justice. She does it justice. Here's this side. Here's the other side. You just barely clip the face off right here. Hey, it's hard to shoot black rocks. Here it is again from the top. And here we have the face of it, the front of it, and she is showing a much better picture than anybody else that ever took pictures of this particular artifact. She got it from so many different angles. And here's a real good shot of the rear of this little boat. And this will conclude this short section on boats from Virginia Hourigan's gallery. This is going to be a very short section, but it's so important because I'm going to be showing chariots. And here's our first one. It's a small piece. There's a dime there. I'm going to blow it up. And here we see it a little bit more clear. And it looks like two fishes here and some kind of design here. Now, why you'd put fishes on a chariot, I don't know. If you think this is something else, well, we're going to look at some more. Let me know. And this is the reverse of the same stone. And here's another spectacular piece. It's heavily eroded, but you can tell at one time it was extremely well carved. You have an archer back here in the back of the chariot, and the horse is decked out clearly in Egyptian regalia. I mean, you can't get any more Egyptian than that. This section I'm calling creatures. Several of these pictures I have used before, and we're going to be seeing some doubles. We're going to start seeing some repetitive things. I really don't know what they are. They are creatures. Some could probably go into animals or this or that. Who knows? So this is the first one I've used him in a couple of videos previously. I've used this one also in separate videos. Now check out this ghoulish creature. He looks pretty nightmarish to me. Here's the same creature, just a different angle. And I've used this fella in several of my videos previously, dating back to 1998, I think. Handsome fellow. And here we have a really good shot of what I call Gator Man. A really nice outfit there. Garment is really nice. And you see later when I owned him, a piece of his nose was missing. This is all lifted in relief. And here's another creature. Appears to be some kind of animal of some sort. I don't know, or maybe it's a creature. Maybe it's got 2 legs. Who knows? This is another one I've used previously. As well as this fella here. That is some kind of creature. Here you see the smirk in the mouth again. And we've seen this guy here previously. Here's the reverse of him. Same with this guy here. Just showing you this in creatures in Virginia Hourigan's gallery. And here's one of my favorites. If you were carving a stone, you see the mammary glands here. I'll blow it up for you. And here you see the mammary glands here. And she's not very cute at all. Not very cute at all. But to add more hurt, you carve the back of her. And you give her this right here. She might have been a sexy babe. Who knows? Who knows? My God. I'm just saying. I'm just laughing. And we've seen this fella here in several different galleries. Here's the reverse of him. And here we have an Eve in some kind of blanket or something. Some kind of creature. Now we're seeing this guy again. And here's this handsome fellow again. And it is some kind of animal, but I've got him in creatures. And that concludes this section. Oh, watch out. Don't spray him here. Let's be friends. Possum's thinking, why don't you share? No! Don't spray him! If that skunk sprays that possum, be of my own fault. There were 2 possums out here. Thank goodness. This is the section I call Daggers, and there's a windstorm outside, so you might hear some howling and some whistles and such, but we're going to start off with this piece here, and some of these are just absolutely beautiful. And you see it's got a groove in it here, but this, I'm calling that a dagger. And here's the other side of it. We've seen this dagger here before, and it could have been in marble or one of the other galleries, but you see the inclusions here, the silver inclusion. This is Carrara. And you see the quarter there. That's about how the size of all of these kind of goes. Nice marble again. And here's the reverse of that same stone. And this is the same piece, just a different angle. And I've seen this one before firsthand. It is a really nice, polished stone. And here's another one. Beautifully polished stone. The picture just doesn't do it justice. And here's the last piece from this gallery. You'll notice it's fine Carrara. Look at all these dark lines. It just makes this beautiful. Got a nice bird head carved up there. Really fine. Cat, you're on my printer. You're on my printer. You must not care. Now we're looking at Virginia Hourigan's section in her gallery concerning elephants. And this elephant was owned by Thelma McLean and went up for auction in 1997. It's a real nice looking statue. It's kind of small, not very big at all, but well executed. It looks to me like sandstone, but as I see, if it was cleaned up, maybe it's marble, maybe it's deteriorated, eroded. It's a little hard to tell. And here's the next one. You'll notice the smaller ear. Well executed stone. Is very small. And we've seen this guy previously. Really good looking shot. Well executed. He's got the short tusk and the small ear. But he's got a big this. I would imagine all elephants have a big this. I'm just saying. Some of them are 30 feet tall. Here's another small stone, heavily worn or eroded. But it looks to me like this is a trunk. I'll blow it up a bit. Okay, our next section in this gallery is what I call faces. And you've already seen Big Nose, so we don't have to go into him. And there's a picture of the back of him, which is really insignificant. A little cutie. This is about the size of a quarter. His next one, this is about 3.5, 4 inches. Got the sides of it. And we've seen this guy here before. I believe we've seen this fella here also. And here's the artifact again that Scott Walter says Russ Burroughs called this Charlie. But it's clearly Egyptian. I mean, there's no doubt about that. But whether Burroughs was lying to him or not, I don't know. We've seen this guy before. I say that because Burroughs told other people that certain artifacts were Charlie and they weren't that one. There's like 3 Charlies. Charlie was an amulet that would talk to him. I can't remember seeing this guy in any other gallery. So I'm going to blow him up. Here's our next one. It's marble and it's small. And we see the crooked mouth. Here's the reverse of it. This could have gone in gorgets, but it's not. It's or medallions, pendants, whatever. Good looking Egyptian fella. He's got an eagle on his helmet. Here's another Egyptian. This is another stone that Burroughs told people was Charlie. Just saying. But it's clearly Egyptian. This guy here was auctioned off in 1997, and I don't think he's been seen since. We've seen this guy in other galleries. And here we're showing this fella, and all these with the hole. They could have gone in gorgets, but I have them in faces because I don't think I had enough to do gorgets, and gorgets would have, I think, messed up my subject line here. Here's another one that's gone to the wind. I really like this carving for it to be just like 3 or 4 times the size of a dime. It's really well carved. Clearly Egyptian. Here's our next one, where the expression in the face is really good. Really good. It's got 2 holes for pendant. I'll blow it up. You'll notice the eyebrows kind of favor cobras. But he seems to have a sad look on his face. Or just a solemn look. Good looking carving. Here's another real goofy gorget in faces. Small. Here's another real small artifact. Here's another face with 2 holes in it. Here's another insignificant face. I don't think we've seen this fella here in any other gallery. Let's blow him up. Check him out. Here's another really small carving. Good looking though. Looks like it's part of that mudstone. And here's one that has the squared off ear, and you can see here with the size of the quarter, this guy's he's over 2 feet tall. And I would say maybe 16, 17 inches across. He used to be locally owned. He was sold at an auction in '97, and he's gone to the wind. Here's another rather large stone, gone to the wind. This guy here is carved in relief. The face and everything is lifted out of the stone. Good looking piece here. Here's another small stone that we've seen has the smirk in it. And now we're going to cruise through some cuties. This is in marble, small piece. This guy here we've seen in other galleries. Here's an ugly mask, but it's a good shot of him. Here's his name up here. Here's another one we've seen. Here's the reverse of that same stone. And we've seen this guy before. Here's another guy's average size, good looking stone with an elaborate and extremely obscure Egyptian headdress. Check out the expression. His countenance. He looks serious. And we've seen this guy 100 times before. And you notice he has a squared ear on both sides. Faces. Headed back from my work today and came across this at Highway 3 and 109. I don't get it, man. That woman's way too close. I called 911. They said the fire engine was on the way. I hope there's nobody inside. Sheriff made it. That sheriff is real close to it. Huh? Excuse me? No. I'm not bothering anybody. What? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I guess.